What is going on, baby girl? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be walking you through a full lower body A. This has been long awaited, but I'm super selfish when it comes to my workouts. I like to be locked in. I like to be focused. I have no business maneuvering a camera around when I'm trying to be really in the moment in my workout. But luckily I have Juriel filming me today, so I'm going to try to be as raw as possible and show you the real raw gym Erika in the gym. So let's get into it. All right, y'all, we're starting with elevated front squats. I just want to give you guys a little bit of some advice if you're a beginner in the gym. You do not have to be doing front squats. The reason why I do it is because you can put a lot more weight onto the bar. But if you're a beginner, you can take a 25 plate and just have the dumbbell in front of you and squat as well. My range of motion is also extremely deep, but I've been working out for a really long time, so I also don't want you to think that you have to hit that type of deftness in your squat. You can keep it at a little bit below parallel and you'll be more than fine. So yeah, let's get into how to set up for it. When you're holding the bars, I'll try to turn around. Your arms aren't holding the bar, okay? Your shoulders are. So your hands here are just for support, right? So you want to be able to do it like this so you can test that your shoulders are only holding the bar. You also don't want to have your elbows out like this because that means that your arms are holding the bar and your shoulders aren't holding the bar. So just a quick little tip, bring your elbows to the front of your face and then you'll know that you'll be good. So anytime you start a workout, you guys, you always want to start with a lighter weight to kind of just see how your body feels and where you're at. You never ever want to start at your working weight. And something else, this does not count as your set until you get to the weight that you're comfortable with, and that is challenging as well. I feel like there's going to be a lot of minimal talking because the leg day always kills me. Every time for my third set, I like to add weight to the bar to challenge myself. I'm feeling like nauseous, you know, like those leg days where you're just feeling a little bit out of it, but we're gonna push through, we're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna see how these added 10 pounds feels. If you add even 2.5 pounds on each side, that's an extra 5 pounds. So don't ever forget that. And even 5 pounds, 10 pounds is a lot of extra weight, especially in the gym. didn't feel too bad. I think I definitely could have done 10 and 10, but regardless, it was challenging. And in the gym, that's all you really want to be doing. If you can breathe and talk normally while you're working out, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. All right, y'all, I'm going to be doing a hamstring-focused RDL. There's 2 variations that you can do. Most of you guys see a glute-focused RDL, which is basically when you have a slight knee in the bend. Hamstring-focused, your legs are completely straight, but you still want to think of pushing those hips back, right? So what I want you to do before even trying it, try it with no weight, right? Just stand there, push your hips back, and see how far you can go, right? So I'm here. I'm just pushing my hips back without bending my knees, almost to the point where your toes are coming up. When you see your toes are coming up, that means that's your full range of motion, and you don't want to go farther than that because you could fall back, right? Now, when you do a glute-focused RDL, you start with that knee bent, and then you push back. This, think of this thing stick-less. So your legs are just still, not moving. The only thing that is moving is your hips all the way to the back. So you have that bar in front of you, and you're just pushing back. And the whole goal here is to feel that stretch in your hamstring. So I'm gonna take the bar. First thing you wanna do is roll those shoulders back, okay? You have your shoulders like this, you can hurt yourself, you can hurt your back, and that may be one of the main reasons why you have lower back pain. So first thing you wanna do is roll those shoulders into your lats, have your feet straight forward, and make sure you're not bending those knees, and you're just going as far as you can. Once you feel that stretch, you come up. Is I don't know why, like I'm like actually dying, which I'm supposed to be, but every single time I'm dying in the gym, I question myself. I'm like, am I fit? Like, why can I not breathe? There was something else that I wanted to say, and I'm not remembering it. Oh yeah, when you come up from an RDL, right? You're down here, and now you have to come up. Some of you just come up, right? But when you are doing it, I want you to think of a hip thrust. When you come up from a hip thrust, you go like this, right? I want you to do the same exact thing when you're doing an RDL. That goes for glute focus, and that also goes for hamstring focus. So when you're down here, think hip thrusts. Don't think just coming up from the bar, all right? If you are a beginner and you feel like you're not ready for the barbell yet, any movement that I'm doing right now, you can always do with dumbbells. So don't be afraid to change things up when you see somebody doing something advanced, or you see somebody working out that's been working out for years. There is no workout that you're not able to do, okay? I'm a firm believer in that. So if you're doing this with dumbbells, same situation. You just have the dumbbells in your hands rather than a barbell. Always keep that in mind if you are a beginner. That was a warm-up set, like I said. So this is my starting weight, and usually in the third set, I like to just add weight to see where I'm at and to see if that's something that I can work on next week. I have one strap, okay, but one is better than nothing. I want to show you guys how to use this too. If you don't know what a strap is, it basically helps you hold more weight. So especially me, I have a very small wrist, so there's a lot of weight that I can carry but my wrist cannot carry. Of course, you want to work on your wrist strength, which is why you'll see me like not using these all the time, but they're really good if you're someone that wants to get stronger, but you feel like your wrists are giving out when you're using specific weight. So this what is it called? The strap goes between your thumb and this finger, right? And you're gonna come to the bar. You're gonna wrap it once. That's all you really have to do. Bring your hand to the front and twist. Now you could put this strap in your hand if you want to, and you're good to go. Obviously, I don't have two, but that's how it would be for the other side as well. We also went up in weight. Like I said, third set, you always want to challenge yourself and see where you're at. And maybe this could be a new working set that you can work towards for next week. All right, y'all, we have hip thrusts now. I don't know why, but lately I have been dreading the hip thrust, okay? Like, even with weight and stuff, I feel like I've been such a punk. And a lot of people have been asking me, like, with running and stuff, do I lift the same amounts? In sense, yes, I'm supposed to, but sometimes when I'm running too much, it's a bit difficult for me. I feel a lot more fatigued, but I've been trying to find a balance and just really been trying to push myself in the gym because it's so important. And last week it was raining, so I didn't run at all, and I realized that I put a lot more effort into the gym. So basically what I'm trying to focus on right now is putting that effort in the gym, as well as also being able to put the effort into my runs as well, because they're both important, and I don't want to put more love into running more than I do lifting, and vice versa. So we're gonna start with hip thrust. Usually, like the past month, I'll do like 2 plates and call it a day, but I'm gonna try to really push myself right now and really try to challenge myself because I've been slacking, not gonna lie. Same thing with hip thrusts, you guys, or any movement. Like I said, you always want to start with a working weight and then work your way to the, you always want to start with weight that you can warm up with, and then you want to get into your working set to kind of just see how you feel, and to make sure that you're also practicing form as well, because that's also very important. Sometimes when you start at a heavy weight, you can kind of forget that form is a thing. So make sure that when you are doing your warm-up set that you're also practicing on your form and making sure that you are controlling the weight as much as possible. So we're gonna start with 2 plates instead of 1, so I don't get comfortable with trying to do light ass weight. Also, the reason why I like to do it on the Smith machine is because you have a lot more control as opposed to just the barbell. If you're somebody that wants to just get stronger in the gym, you want to incorporate both. So you can have the Smith machine, and then you can have another day where you're doing the barbell as well. So one will be more focused on strength and getting stronger, and then the other one will be focused on control and really making sure that you're focusing on that mind and muscle connection in the gym. All right, y'all, if you are a beginner and you don't know how to do a hip thrust, first thing, there's a lot of ways to do a hip thrust, okay? I feel like that is not talked about enough. When I'm using the Smith machine, I do a hinge method, meaning that all that's really moving is my hips. There's the scoop method. I feel like I'm saying it wrong and I'm probably mixing it up, but when you are doing one or the other, and I'll show you both, I think I'm gonna have to show you guys on this side. So when you're doing the hinge method, right, your body doesn't really move, but when you're doing this, you wanna make sure that you're not arching your back, because then you can get that lower back pain. But you're basically here, and all you're really doing to come up is moving your hip. So you're tucking in your pelvis and coming up. Then you're coming down, tucking your pelvis. The other way, your whole body's moving. So you're moving with the hip thrust and you're coming up. So your whole body's moving, you're moving up. When I'm doing the Smith machine, the only thing that you're really gonna see moving is my hips. All right, so keep that in mind. When I'm doing a barbell though, my back is not strong enough to do that, my core is not strong enough to do that, so my whole body moves with it. All right, right, y'all, we're up to 3 plates. I'm absolutely dreading this freaking exercise. I almost don't challenge myself with hip thrusts to the point where I feel like I really forgot how to even do a hip thrust. I didn't mention this before, but when you're doing hip thrust, the most important thing is that hold on top. So you want to hold for at least 3 seconds, and then when I'm doing my very last my very last rep, I like to hold it for 10 seconds because I hate myself. So make sure you're doing it too. Oh, my glutes are on fire. All right, on to the next movement. All right, now we have your favorite exercise ever, Bulgarian split squats. I also feel like I have been slacking with this movement. I used to be able to do 70s, okay, on each arm, but I'm working at like 40s to 50s to work my way back up to where I was before. But like I said, running and lifting is no freaking joke. Also found my straps. Again, I'm just going to show you guys how to use it if you were to use a barbell, a dumbbell. Same situation. Make sure that the strap is always between these 2 fingers like this. You're going to wrap that around the barbell, bring your hand back to the front and twist. And there you have it. You don't have to completely wrap it a million times, just 1 wrap and you're good to go. It doesn't feel heavy, but we're gonna try the next leg and see how we feel. Alright, now we're up to Bulgarian split squats. I'm quite literally dying. I'm challenging myself with 50s. I'm like at 45 to 50s. I used to be able to do 70s on each arm. I don't know how, I don't know what I was doing, but I feel comfortable with the weight that I'm using right now. And hopefully over time, I can build myself up to getting into 70s. I recently underwent a cut. So when you go through a cut, your strength is there, just not as much as it was. Like I said, I'm also running too, so there's just like a lot going on within my fitness journey right now. But when you are working out, whatever weight you're using can always be challenging. You just have to make sure that you're focused and that you're always implementing mind and muscle connection. So that just means that you have to be focused. You can slow down your reps as well, and just make sure that you're super controlled if you are using lower weight in the gym. just real quick, when you are working out and you're using heavy weight, it's okay to take a break in between legs. I try to like go as soon as I'm done with the other leg, and I always feel fatigued. So just remember to take your breaks in the gym, but don't take too much of a long break. And try not to use your phone. The phone is only there for music and music only. D&D. All right, y'all, we're doing a sissy squat now. This is going to target your quads. If you don't have this machine, there is a way to do it on the Smith machine. I'll insert a video so you guys can kind of take a look what that looks like. I really love this machine because you feel it in your quads so bad. Like your quads are literally screaming at you. Also, I actually rather do it at the Smith machine with somebody using it right now because since I'm so short, the range of motion is not as deep as it can be, but it's fine. So you're gonna grab a plate. You can also grab a dumbbell too. But like I said, since the range of motion is not as deep as I want it to be, the dumbbell doesn't go low enough either. So I'm going to just grab this 25 plate, look straight, lean into the squat like I'm falling back, and then coming up, pushing through my quads. And we want to drop the weight and do a body weight. Also, to you guys, it's this type of movement where in the beginning, it'll feel like you're not really doing anything, and then it creeps up on you, and that's when you want to keep going, when you literally want to give up. You also don't want to take too much of a long break either. The whole point here is so that our quads do not go in rest mode. Take a 30-second break, and then we're back into it. My quads are fucking burning. Goal here is to go as many reps as possible, almost to the point where you're about to fall. Oh. 30-second break, and then we're back into it. All right, last set, best set. This is a movement that really doesn't burn until like the 10th rep. I'm at 13 right here. All right, I'm done. This is our last movement. This is gonna be a burnout. We're only doing 1 set, okay? So we're gonna start with heavy weight. We're gonna push as much as possible. Then we're gonna drop the weight 2 more times, and then we're gonna do 1 leg on the quad leg extension, which I'm gonna show you what that looks like. But technically, basically, what we're doing here is we're completely burning out our legs to the point where we're literally crawling out this gym. Also too, if you're like tiny, always make sure that like you put the machine to your adjustment. So this goes all the way up. This is SML extra large. Make sure you're on small. And this, make sure it's all the way back. If it's not, you're not gonna get the range of motion that you want. So we're starting heavy and then we're working our way back. The goal here is to challenge yourself and always, always remember, you're stronger than you think. All right, so we had that at 115, we're at 70 now. Then we're gonna go to 40 and then we're gonna go to 25. I'm dying. All right, now we're doing single leg. You're gonna try to do the lightest weight possible here because your legs at this point should be shaking almost to the point where it's like even hard to put this leg up to do it. All right, y'all, that sums up our workout. I hope you guys enjoyed. I feel like my social skills while working out is not the best, but just know it's because I'm literally dying and I can barely even speak. But I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. You made it this far, you might as well subscribe to my channel. But yeah, I love you guys so much and I will catch you guys in the next video.